Hey everybody, Konaja here, once again in Assetto Corsa. Gonna check out some new modded content as we wait for the new update to come out. I'm always surprised to see the amount and quality of modded content for this game that is already being produced, even though it is nowhere near completion. Well, I guess it is nearer completion than it has ever been. We'll discuss that a little bit later. But first up, I want to check out a new track that is custom created for Assetto Corsa. Which means not a conversion from another previous racing sim, and that is the Sentinel Circuit, which is a track that has been featured on the GP2 circuit, GP2 Asia, and some other smaller series like Moto 2. It's never been a main GP track, but it's always had kind of the feeder series. It's a pretty nice little layout, and we'll be in the Civic VTI once again, but with a new sound mod that has made it sound a little bit more like a Honda. I've tested it out a little bit. It does sound more correct, but it has some bugs to it, which we will hear. So let's do a little 3-lap race here, give a review of the circuit, and listen to the car and all that fun stuff. Starting dead last. Get off the line. These lights are very random. Not bad. I've noticed that the AI do that a lot on the start. They do this like little wavy maneuver. I don't know if that's their instinctual blocking maneuver or what. They've also included in the sound mod for this car, which you can hear definitely sounds much more signature Honda-like. Oof, no wheel hop there. Including VTEC, so you can actually hear simulated activation of the VTEC. Ooh, part of the brake show. This track's pretty neat. It's got some of these nice dual apexes, but they're all very flat. I kind of have always been very good at the flat tracks, with no banking, no elevation change, anything like that. It seems to be the kind of layout I excel at. Not necessarily the most exciting kind of track to drive. Usually a very interesting track to race on. Oh, that was a penalty. That shouldn't have been. Seems like I just barely dropped the wheels off. Jay, you can hear right about 6,000. You'll hear it kind of kick over into the louder VTEC-ish noises. It's got some weird background noise in it, is the only real problem. It's like the way the sound loops or something. It's just got a little weird kind of hum in the background. Missing gears. But I don't know if I actually spit it out. But included with the mod is a little bit of a modified physics model with the car to help improve the shifting, so the gear gates, they call them, are more open. What, 7th place? It's not bad. We started 13th. I still find myself grinding the gears an awful lot, but it's a lot better than it was. And I'm sure the nut behind the wheel has something to do with it. Yeah, you can really hear it there. Get out of VTEC and it shuts up. I've actually got my volume on my headset way too loud right now. So I'm probably going to be deaf after this race. But I still really, really enjoy this car. It is so much fun to race with. I really want to get some multiplayer races going with Joe and Nuts and all them. Hopefully some more people. Because cars like this, I think would, oh man, without penalties on anyway, would create a lot of really fun racing. It's just fun in the way that there's so many different ways to like save the car when it gets out of shape or you miss your line a little bit. So there I was able to lift off the gas and get it to tuck into the apex. It's just a lot of fun to drive. if I could get into your own darn gears. It just does not like to rev match at all. So not much improvement this lap. Did I pass anybody? I don't think so. Oh, I did. 2 people. Go figure. Passing people and don't even remember it. This layout does seem like it would be rather fun in an open wheel car as well. It's very wide track. Visually, it's not quite up there with the Kuno's development tracks, like the actual in-game tracks. That was some understeer there. But it's not bad. The textures are really what kind of holds it back. I'm not sure where they were sourcing their textures from. And some of the models are like trees and whatnot. Maybe just aren't. Oof, that was deep. Aren't quite up to par. It's a really fun track to drive, and otherwise it's visually appealing enough that it doesn't distract you. Like some of the R-Factor converted tracks, really just, the graphics in them are just so starkly different than the rest of the tracks in this game that they're kind of visually off-putting. This one's not really giving me that sense of visual feedback. That's a fun set of turns right there. 3 turns that all kind of become one apex. So where do we get up to? 4th? So we can do a nice e-brake 180. Oh, go through 360. Oh, too far. Alright, well that is the Honda Civic VTI sound mod and the Sentinel circuit, both of which will be included in the description. But that's not it for today. I've got 2 more things to look at. So let's continue on. Alrighty, the next thing I want to look at is the Donnington GP circuit, which is another uniquely created track for this game. Obviously it is a real track, but it is not converted from any other game from what I have read. And I read it on the internet, so you know it has to be true. But overall, either way, it is looking very good and fitting towards the game's general look. And we are in the Mercedes SLS, which is obviously a factory. I never know what to call these. They are vanilla. They are official content for the game. We'll go with that. It is an official content car. You can tell the level of detail in the car is just, it's so much more finely detailed and shaded better than the modded cars. That is where the modded content kind of hasn't quite gotten there just yet. It might over time, but the guys at Kuno's are definitely knocking it out of the park with their car modeling. Driving wise, honestly, not my favorite car in the world so far. I haven't enjoyed it too much in a little bit I've used it. But I thought this track might be well suited for it. It's pretty quick, uses the flappy paddles, which you can probably hear. Whoa, 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 easy guys. Well, that was rough. Alright, let's try this again, huh? Nope, still getting hit. I'm sure the track AI lines might have something to do with it, like maybe they're not laid perfectly correct, which is causing them to be even more chaotic than usual. But just look through the visuals of the track. Donnington is a beautiful track to begin with. It reminds me a lot of Lime Rock Park on a little bit larger scale. But it is a really good-looking track. And this modded version is definitely, much like the last one we looked at, is on par with the official content for the game. So it's nice to see this kind of modded content getting added. It's a very busy car to drive. It's got so much nose weight and lots of torque, so it makes it kind of hairy to drive, and the shifting really kind of gives you the perception that it's going to be easier to drive, but it's really not. I figured it would have traction control on from the factory. Apparently it does not, which is nice. So you get a little bit of. Guess I'm gonna AI it up right there. So you get to hang it out like that when you can. I always want to forget this last turn here. This is not a track commonly featured in video games. You don't see it in. I don't think it was ever in Gran Turismo, or it might be in Forza. I'm not sure. Which is a real shame because it is a really fun track. And it has kind of that old school feel to it where they just kind of paved the track to match the land. They didn't design a track on paper and change the land to fit it. I was losing the nose there. I'm getting a little bit better handle for the car now. Certainly a large change going from the Civic to this. But I'm still overall enjoying the road cars much more than the race cars. I love that feeling of having a kind of a gray edge of grip instead of the black and white edge. With the race cars, it's kind of like you're gripping or you're not. With the road cars, you don't have as much overall grip. But when it starts to lose control, it's a much more gradual process. Which I guess makes sense. But you see stuff like that, you can get away with a little bit more with a race car. So it makes it, in some ways, harder to drive. When I'm coming through here and I brake a little late and the back end steps out, I can kind of control it. Still go off course, but it's still within reason to control it. Versus with like a Formula car or something like that, probably would have just instantly looped it. Boy, they are braking way too early into turn 1 here. Or are they? Perhaps they're doing it right and I'm doing it wrong. Alright, Eckbert. That was all wrong through there. It seems like they're on the brakes, then they get off of them. A little rubbing. I don't know if we're going to catch a leader here. Probably not. Especially now that I lost somebody to follow. Whoa, 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 whoa. This car is just mental. And it's got such a even power band. That is one thing that is very off-putting with it. It's strange to say, but it's actually such an even power band that it takes you by surprise. It's like, oh man, that's the wrong way. It's like you expect some kind of gradient there, but it's like as soon as you hit the throttle, you just get as much power as you do at any other point, no matter what RPM you're at. I've got to learn this track better. And I will, because it's, like I said, very, very, very well done. Just like the back tires of this car right now. Visually, AI-wise, everything about it is working perfectly. That is a bug I've noticed, is that the placing where it says you finished the race it always gives you one less position than you really finished. So we finished second. Not too bad. But that is the Donnington circuit in the Mercedes SLS. Whew. It's a handful. But links in the description to check this track out as well, because it's definitely, these two tracks are in my top 2 spots for modded content for the game so far. Alrighty, well, the final thing to look at today is indeed a converted track from R-Factor, but that doesn't mean that it's not worth looking at, because it is a very cool track that I never got to check out due to my not playing R-Factor. So it is, well, I have no real idea how to pronounce it, but I'm going to go ahead and butcher it and say it's Majsulik, but it is a small town in Serbia that has a circuit made out of roads that is or possibly was, it may not be a thing anymore, popular for time trials and that kind of exhibition event. It is a connection of roads with a couple of road course turns added in for connecting the roadways together. It is a lot of fun, and I have been doing quite a few laps here just because I enjoy grinding gears. No, I enjoy this kind of track atmosphere. I've mentioned a lot that time trial and road rally and things like that is something that has really kind of taken my interest as of the past few years. And it's something you don't see a lot of in sim racing. You see it in arcade racing, but that doesn't really do it for me. So as you can see, it is purely just roadways here with some curbing. Very dangerous. There's guardrails and sharp curves all over the place. We're on the BMW E30 DTM. It's a pretty good fit for this kind of track. We got a long straightaway here that is just a highway. That was a little early. Some of these turns do have a little bit of elevation and banking to them. Really sharp turn here. Unfortunately, the AI are not working too well with the track. They have some interference issues with tire barriers and things like that, so it's better just to leave them off. They do work, you can use them, but I think this is a much more entertaining time trial-esque track than it is a actual racing track. See, that's how you're supposed to shift. Oh, the wide there. There's a lot of these fun curves you can hop and get up on 2 wheels or just drift around them. Between this car and this track, it's a fun combination. I've been doing a lot of laps here in the whoop, 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 whoop. Yep, there's the 2 wheels. I'm doing a lot of laps here in the, oops, I forgot this turn, wide, in the Civics. Another really fun combination, especially the JGTC version, which when you hop the curves does a whole lot of that 2-wheel in action. Let's see, it's hard to find this braking point. Yeah, that was way too early again. And then hard on the brakes, do a bus stop turn and get it going. So this is the part that, like I mentioned, they kind of added in. Obviously this bank turn wouldn't be in the roadways, so they added that in just for the purpose of this circuit. This is the kind of stuff we would never get away with here in the States, for obvious safety reasons, and I can only imagine how much fun it would be. That was deep. Very hard to find the braking points. Wide. Oh, you can only cut that so far. Okay. Shouldn't hurt this lap too terribly much. Oh. Oh, too deep, too deep, too deep. I've been driving the Civic around here a little too much, I think. I've lost my brake much with this car. Whew. Very busy. It's nice that you get this little bit of straightaway on this side and the other side because you need a chance to catch your breath. There we go. Oh, nope, that was way deep. Oh. And it's because of hits like that that I say this would be extremely dangerous. Alright, as I line up to try another lap here, I mentioned early on, but didn't really elaborate, that we may be very close to full release of Assetto Corsa. Meaning the 1.0 release. So it would be out of Steam Early Access, and would be considered not complete, but it would be considered a complete product, I guess. And I think that's probably coming in the next couple weeks. It has not been officially said that the next update will be the full release, but oh, too deep again, darn. This car really does not have very good brakes. But, what was I saying? Ah, yeah. Kunos has said the next update will be about 3 gigabytes in size. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a full game revamp, or, you know, basically they touched a lot of things in the game files to have a 3 gigabyte file. And I've seen pictures of new shaders and new graphics and stuff like that. All things that seem like they wouldn't release unless it was going to be a rather large and important update. So definitely looking forward to that. Boy, it's like I'm either way too early on these braking zones or way late. This car has such a strange power band. Sometimes you get the gas and you feel like there's nothing behind it. Then other times you light up the rear tires. Oh, yep, another big hit. Alrighty, well that's going to do it for this time in Assetto Corsa. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.